Alright, clear warning before I start this video. I don't like Blue Archive. I'm just talking positive things about it because, well, sometimes things like that just happen. See you soon. Yo, and welcome back to a strange video from me about talking about more about the world of Stella Sora. And well, this is another story focused video, and well, I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. This video was supposed to come out, supposed to be written up and come out much earlier in Stella Sora's lifespan. I think I wrote this script around the end of chapter 4, so just talking about the end of the fight with the big three and clearing up that whole commission nonsense. And before we start getting into the interworkings of Dorothea and like privately investigating United Harvest branch in full. But even after reading up all those stories that come afterward, all this any side stuff, and getting to the end of, well, chapter 7 with the end of the tyrant, I'll be honest, I would say somewhat my script still holds on for strange reasons. So yeah, old script, but it still works on like whatever happens afterwards. So what am I talking about here? Stella Sora's story is still poor. I like to talk about the Stella Sora story a lot, but I usually talk about it in terms of world building, in terms of like what could it mean for the broader landscape of characters, lore, like what comes next, like stories, all that type of stuff. And well, it still is not the greatest. I do really play gacha games for their story. That's the main thing. I still play Limbus Company because of its story. I'm getting into Genshin again because I want to see where the story will take place and all the characters around that, stuff like that. If the game doesn't have good story, then I don't know, it's just hard for me to stick with it. And I think that's the same for like many other people out there, because if the story isn't that great and there's nothing pulling you in, because gameplay is not going to save you, or like how easy it is to collect characters is not going to save you. Might as well just flip switches and gamble actual money. Like, this is all different. But I do have hope for Stella Sora. I do have hope that they're gonna come out and make something great. And well, what I'm trying to say is that like Stella Sora, it needs the Eden Treaty. Because in my very humble opinion, I think Eden Treaty in Blue Archive is the absolute peak of what Blue Archive could be and what it represents. So yeah, getting into it, like Stella Sora in general, like it has soul, it has potential, it has Megumi, it has fun. It's just a bit iffy in terms of like a story. Like, I know like gacha game stories aren't the best early on. I already said that many times beforehand, but overall the early chapters of Stella Sora, it's just rough. I think it's hard to get into like liking the new Star Guild. I think you, the MC, the tyrant, being iffy in terms of like you being the MC, you don't really do a lot. You just really do just get dragged around. You're not like a main focus per se. There's no proper world building. Like, even moving on to Philae after what happens in Imar, it feels loose. And the characters you meet afterwards, like, I think my main issue with Stella Sora is just the characters you meet and how they don't really carry the story per se. Because like, I think overall, like chapter 3 and 4 about the news about the Pedo Guild and Nezuka, like she was the main focus of chapter 4. I didn't really like her that much, and that sucked because since she is the main focus, it hurts like the story in general. Fuyuka was fine enough in chapter 3, but it disappointed that she just drops off a lot after the whole business. And seeing how characters come and go a lot, it felt loose and doesn't help like keep the story integral, because it still is the same area, but everything's just not working out as much. And moving on to after that, I do think Spark in the Night, that one story quest revolving around Mystique, she's fun enough. I think that story, that whole general stuff is great enough. And what's after that, the whole Darcia business, whole Frenzy business, that's all poor. I did not really care enough about what's happening at the United Harvest branch. And I do think Frenzy character as a whole got nerfed. Like, she was a lot less cool than like what people were expecting her to be. I think a lot of people dropped the game after like how Frenzy was played, how she was acted. Like, she's not as cool, and I think that for such a design, she should have been a much cooler character that they tried to fix a lot like in the chapter afterwards. But overall, Stella Sora, the early chapters, it's not the greatest, it's not the best. And well, that's gonna cause issues where people wanted to sit and wait for what's coming ahead. Well, what comes before isn't that great. What comes afterwards might be in that same business. So why am I talking about Blue Archive? Why am I talking about Eden Treaty? Well, Blue Archive is a game that was saved by the bunny girls, of course it did, but overall I do think that Blue Archive did going into a similar run. Like playing through the first chapter, it's not that bad. The task force, they're all fun enough characters, but overall the story is a bit weak. And I think a big low point is when we get to Millennium, we talk about the GGD. Like I know they're a popular group, but damn, that first story chapter was not that great, and getting to know them and like seeing more about Millennium in general. So these Blue Archive devs, they needed a good story. They needed something big, something that can clearly show what they're on about. And then they struck gold, and they stuck Grove of Eden Treaty. So why am I glazing Eden Treaty? It's really simple, really. I think it's just a general masterpiece. It has good themes. It has a really good internal cast. The main hook getting into like Trinity. Like Trinity is a major player in the world of Blue Archive. So this is one of the big schools. So of course they put all the roses for it. We got synced in with the hook about their being a traitor. We got synced in with their something coming up, beating the whole Eden Treaty signing with Trinity and Gehenna. And we get to see the makeup work club, and they're all fun enough personalities, they're all fun enough characters. Fifumi is a nice leader character that we do see some of her character that she does appear early on. That gets set up for us to like segue into seeing these other characters. Hanako and Koharu are fine enough, and both of them do get good moments and good character throughout this whole Eden Treaty business. And as Azura being, you know, very integral with her relationship with Aris, the other forces, and how that all wraps together. Like everything was there for a purpose. Everything starts wrapping together. And you know, early Eden Treaty works because it's just us trying to make sure these kids don't get kicked out, and us performing our role as a sensei, actually helping these students out, and also believing that we have a different way of trying to figure out this whole trader business, and seeing how it all relates back to this whole business of Aris, this whole business with this hidden group wanting to destruct the whole world of, well, Blue Archive. That is very important. So after we do the whole makeup business, the story switches greatly with showing that now we deal with the Eden Treaty proper, seeing that there were actual like spies. Missouri was supposed to be a spy, but well, she didn't want to do that after getting caught up by Seiya. But all that other business, it works out, and we thought that all right, story should be done and over. Let's get this Eden Treaty business over with, and bam, more craziness happen. And it's integral. It's just adding on to what we know about beforehand. Aris does her whole operation. Many leaders go out. Nobody knows what's happening around Eden, around Trinity or Gehenna. Mess is going around. Students are wondering, and Sensei in that whole chaos gets shot. Like that's just good integral like theming, and a good integral like business that gets you, the main character, in trouble. None of that bad ending nonsense. Sensei was not the greatest at that current moment, and his failures got him shot. But he doesn't blame the student. He doesn't blame Sari for getting shot like that, because he's a good guy, unlike some people in the fan base. But whatever. And the whole Eden Treaty just works on showing Sensei as this lovable guy, this nice guy, showing that he is able to forgive the students. And I want to just clear up everything for that one moment in Eden Treaty where Hifumi stands up and talks about the meaning of Blue Archive, the story of youth, of what students are supposed to be, about this whole politics business is just not working out. And I think Eden Treaty does represent that whole business. Students were caring so much more about politics, so much more about dangers and all that type of stuff, that people gave up on being actual students. And that really fits into whole Mika's character, how she damned herself, thinking that she could never truly go back to being a normal kid like everyone else. And that messed with her psyche a lot. That needed to be fixed at the end of Eden Treaty. And damn, after all that business, it did get fixed. It did get, well, slowly fixed, slowly mending to her becoming a better person. But overall, just showing how bad adults shift the minds of students into thinking that they can't be kids anymore. They can't enjoy school life. They can't enjoy being with their friends. All this business, it just works out and just makes Eden Treaty just this great centralized thing. It's good. It's really good. I do like Mika's redemption, the Cure Elysium. It's just beautiful. So going back to Stella Sora, I just yapped a lot about like what I see in Blue Archive, and now looking back at Stella Sora, what could it do? Moving on from that, I just think the main thing we need to do with Stella Sora is get out of Philae. Philae was not a great centralized place to have such a big moment. Like I don't get why we got two separate like ending credit songs from chapter 4 4 and chapter 6, like I think remove the 1 from chapter 4, like it didn't feel that climactic. And chapter 1, chapter 6 one is fine because the whole Friends Day, the whole like ending of the United Harvest, whole Selena's business, that's fine. But I don't know why we had like a whole song end of chapter 4. It's just business. But I do think Stellasaura can work out if they just get better characters. I think they need a better like land, a better place, a better place for people to like work out with. What I'm trying to say. Yeah, okay, I think for Stellasaura, they need is a better location, and for world building to fit around that location. Philae just feels like a tier 2 city, and it doesn't work well when you're trying to get bigger and bigger, trying to get bigger threats and all that business. When you're at a place that doesn't feel that great. Eden Treaty focused a lot around Trinity and a bit around Gehenna, but a lot about Trinity, a lot about Aris, because those were major players, and they are major players, and it feels major. And Stellasaura, we stuck around in a branch company, and it feels weak. So more business over there, more business over there. So I think moving on for Stellasaura, get us to a major location, get us to something that doesn't feel like we're just randomly here and there. I feel like we just get dragged along with other people's plot instead of us being integral to this plot that's wrapping around us, stuff like that. So wherever we go next in Stellasaura, make sure it's major, make sure the characters there feel major, make sure to talk about more about the tyrant business, talk more about how, like the more in-depth about what these companies are doing, like see how much these companies are stealing from the people, or like how bad they are towards the people, and see how it directly affects us, the character. I don't know, maybe drop New Star Guild somewhere else. I think they're just filling up time, filling up the cast slot, and it's just not helping. I know they're gonna get their moments sometime later, but right now they're just iffy characters overall. So let us see more focus on these new characters we see in this new city, and that will be helpful. But overall, I don't know, maybe bring us to that New York style place where all the witches are. I do think the witches will play an integral role in what's coming next in Stellasaura, because information, freedom, press, that's all important for talking about business, talking about companies, whatever. Bring us there, bring us proper like antagonists there that's not just wild animals or just one person. And I don't know, maybe Stellasaura will fix this off, or well, they can be like Blue Archive and release the Devils of the Monolith in their bunny outfits. Who knows? This is another just random nonsense video that was just thinking the top of my head. I don't like Blue Archive, but I do like Eden Treaty. I do like what it represents, what it's going for, and I do wish Stellasaura the best, because I don't like it when games EOS. I don't like it when games which had potential, which has Megumi, just don't reach it. Games ending soon enough, I don't know. But I'm not gonna doom post like the subreddit. I'm gonna think that there's hope for Stellasaura, and there's hope between Nexon in general. Like this is your first in-house game, and I believe in you guys to like do good. Blue Archive just whatever. They got the Lolicon fan base on hooked, so those guys win. Because no other gacha game is like gonna go after those guys, because they're worried about, you know, age restrictions, like blockage, like international business, whatever. Blue Archive fans, expect another video, but a less positive video. And Stellasaura fans, hey guys, how do I reach top 10 of the leaderboard? Like I'm trying to work out here, but like I've been missing way too much support characters. Like off topic for one, I miss Christmas Laru, I miss Springseek Cronus, and now my fire and my ground team can't do good damage, so I'm lost. I'm losing. I'm a loser right now. Next support character, please, I will summon for you. I will not skip your banner, I beg of you. And with that, goodbye, and I won't skip your banner either.